Ramadan. What is the holy month Ramadan? Ramadan is a holy month for Muslims that happens once a year for 1 month. And throughout this month, we fast, we don't eat or drink anything from sunrise to sunfall. How do you know when Ramadan starts or ends? Ramadan each year starts 10 days earlier than the past year. So when we get close to that date, we check the skies to see the moon. If it's a crescent, then it's Ramadan. And 30 days from then is the end of Ramadan, is the end of the holy month Ramadan. Why do Muslims fast in the month of Ramadan? Ramadan is a way to put yourself in others people's shoes, to feel with others, to be grateful for your blessings, and to know the struggle of no food. And as I mentioned uh, now, that this month makes you grateful for all the blessings that a person has. What are the virtues of Ramadan? Ramadan is for everybody, for everybody Muslim. In Ramadan, between sunrise and sunfall, we fast, and not only fast our stomach, but eyes and ears too. So while fasting, nothing inappropriate should be watched, and you cannot listen to curse words. Sexual intercourse isn't allowed, and will definitely break your fast. There are a lot of virtues in Ramadan. A lot of them will break your fast. A lot of them you should always follow, like praying, uh, getting closer to God, and many other stuff that should be one of your to-dos list in Ramadan.
Hello, my name is Jafar Jarrar, and this is my part of our presentation. I'll be covering questions 5 to 8, and the first one is about the health effects during Ramadan. Now, fasting during Ramadan has no effects on one's health, and it in fact improves health subconsciously. By fasting in Ramadan, one improves his concentration, control of temper, and peace. Also, God protects us from getting sick due to the lack of water and food. Some people might think that during Ramadan, the lack of nutrients and energy from food can cause negative effects on our health. This is wrong, as it makes the body adapt to these situations and improve within. As we know that during Ramadan, we feel with those who do not have access to food and water. And during this month, our bodies adapt to these kinds of situations, which improves us. The amount of hasanat gained in this month outweigh the small negative effects that fasting may have on sensitive bodies. This means that the amount of hasanat gained from our fasting and our worshipping to God, it's more than the negative effects that Ramadan may have on someone that has a sensitive body's health. Now, as for the second question, I'll be covering the do's and don'ts in Ramadan. So, a list of things to do is to always show piety to God during Ramadan. This can be done by tasbih or dua, since the amount of hasanat gained in Ramadan is more than usual. And another thing to do is to always pray and read the Quran, even though you didn't do that before. You should start praying and reading more Quran during Ramadan, since you will gain more hasanat. You should also be well to your parents and the elderly, since they may be tired from the fasting. And you should always do dua at night, because we do not know when Laylat al Qadr is, but we do know that Laylat al Qadr is during Ramadan. And during Laylat al-Qadr, all of our, or not all, most of our dua is fulfilled. So you should keep doing dua at night. We should also give to those in need who do not have food during Ramadan, and we should do zakah. Now, as for things that we should not do, the don'ts, we should not make excuses for breaking our fast, no matter how hard it is, as you will find this peace that you have built up in Ramadan in the future. You will also be judged in Judgment Day if you uh, break your fast. You should also not do any haram things during this month, as this time it is a time of worship and positiveness. And as mentioned above by Miflih, we should not practice. We should not iftar by not just the mouth, by also the ears and our nose. Moving on to the next question. Many people ask, what do non-Muslims do during Ramadan if they are in a Muslim country? Now, let me put myself in the perspective of a non-Muslim person during the month of Ramadan. Now, I would be expected not to eat and drink in front of anyone fasting, not because it is illegal, just as a way of respect. I would be expected to care for those who are fasting, maybe by helping them out or easing their workload. I would be expected to become a Muslim, obviously, uh, since all of us are. We should keep spreading Islam, but it is not mandatory. On a large scale, okay. Now, moving on to the last question, which is what I will personally be doing this Ramadan. Now, we all know that in this time, in this Ramadan specifically, we are suffering from a global pandemic, which is COVID 19. So, on the larger scale, I am going to create a research project regarding one of the main problems that my country is currently facing without realizing. So, since Jordan is currently facing COVID 19, they are forgetting about their main problem, which is water shortage. And it's actually increasing during this time since pollution rates have differed during COVID 19 and water shortage has increased. So, since I have a lot of extra time, especially during Ramadan and quarantine, I am conducting a research paper that tackles multiple viewpoints on the problem of water shortage. And I'm finding one solution that Jordan should follow. I'm helping my country in a way that they're not focusing on yet. Now, moving on to a smaller scale, I'm going to start doing dua every night, which is what I advised you to do before a bit. I'm going to keep doing dua every night in the final 10 days of Ramadan, since we never know when Laylatul Qadr is going to be, and I want my dua to be fulfilled, inshallah. Now, finally, I have a question to you. I want to ask you, how has Ramadan been in this year specifically? Uh, how has it been different than every year with the spread of COVID and quarantine in our houses? I want to ask you a couple of questions. First of all, how is it? And second of all, we all know that in Ramadan we have the family iftars and we go to, eat Teta's delicious wara dawali. And there's something called Salat al Rahim, which uh, is mandatory for us. So, what happens during this time of quarantine? What happens to Salat al Rahim? What happens if we don't go to see our family and friends? And uh, you can respond in the next class if we have time. And this is for the interaction part. Here are the sources, and thank you for listening.